Hello dear aspirants, welcome to Epitome IAS. So dear students, we are continuing with the UPSC PYQ analysis. Today's topic would be the continuation of elections, election commission and the RPA Act. Okay, this is part 2 of this particular topic, and with this we'll be completing this particular topic. Okay, so let us start with the first question. Assertion: the reservation of 33% of seats for women in parliament and the state legislature does not require a constitutional amendment. Reason: the political parties contesting elections can allocate 33% of the seats they contest to the women candidates without any constitutional amendment. Okay, so if you see here, the first assertion says that for reservation of 33% of women seats of parliament in parliament and also state legislature, okay, 33% of the seats. So, for this reservation, there is no need for a constitutional amendment. This is what the statement says. But if you see, for any, reservation for parliament or state legislature, we actually need a constitutional amendment. Okay, a constitutional amendment is necessary for reserving seats for women in state legislature and the parliament. Okay, currently in Panchayati Raj institutions, let us say in Panchayati Raj institutions and municipalities, we have a 33% reservation for women, and this is actually recognized by the Constitution of India. Okay, so in case of parliament also state legislature, for any reservation for women, 33% reservation, we need a constitutional amendment. So this particular statement would be a wrong statement. Okay, and if you see, this question was asked in 1997, but currently, recently, we have actually passed the 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. And what we did in this particular act, in this act, we have given the 33% reservation for the women. Okay, and the thing is, it will be implemented in future, after the Delimitation Commission 2026 and other future things. This particular thing will be implemented in the future elections. Okay, but this act has already been passed. Okay, now this thing is a wrong thing. Even though without this thing, even though without passage of this act, this is known that if we want to give any let us say reservation for women, we need the constitutional amendment. So that's why this statement becomes wrong statement. Now if you see the reason, the political parties contesting elections can be allocating 33 percentage of the seats to contest to women candidates without any constitutional amendment. So if you see here again, here what they are talking about is, here they are only talking about the political parties. Let us say there is a political party. Now this political party can dedicate 33 percentage of the seats to women candidates. Yes, the political party can do on its own. So for this thing, there is no need for a constitutional amendment act. Okay, it is based on that political party, individual political party, whether or not to dedicate this particular percentage of the seats to the women candidates. So if a political party wants, obviously it can dedicate 33% of its seats to the women candidates. Okay, so that's why this particular statement is a correct statement. Here they are just talking about the political parties. Here there is no need for any constitutional amendment, but in the first statement they were talking about the parliament and the state legislature. So whenever there is some changes which are going to happen, like for major change, reservation is a major change, right? So reservation, whenever there is going to be a reservation for both parliament or state legislature, we must come up with a constitutional amendment act. Okay, it can done through only by the constitutional amendment. Without constitutional amendment, we can't give or we can't bring in this particular change. Okay, so that's why this reason is a correct, this statement is a correct statement. assertion statement is a wrong statement. So what would be the correct answer? Option A is false and option R is true. Option D is the correct answer. Okay. Now let us go to the next question. State funding of election takes place in option A, USA and Canada. Option B, Britain and Switzerland. Option C, France and Italy. Option D, Germany and Austria. So it's a factual question. If you know, you know. If you don't know, obviously you don't know. So the state funding of elections, what is state funding of elections? Tell me. State funding of election in simple terms means, let us say there is some sort of election which is happening. Okay. And the funding for this election, how this funding for this election will be happening? The political parties will be funding. Some donations will be given, okay, from other like business persons or other parties. So thing is, because of this or due to this, the funding will be happening. Okay, they'll be getting money from here and there. Okay, from the businesses or from the corporates, whatever. And because of this, there is there is no transparency. How much money, who is getting how much money, which party is getting how much money, which party is getting money from which person. We don't have a transparency in this particular method. Okay, but currently we are obviously doing this only, that we are doing this particular funding of this election is done in this manner. Okay, but in some countries what they do is they do state funding. What is state funding? State funding is nothing but the government itself will be giving money to the political party, recognized political parties or the recognized candidates for this election expenses. There are some expenses, right, like campaigning or other expenses which the political party should take care of. So this money, whatever the money which is needed, this money is directly given by the government of India. Okay, it is given by government of any other country also. Whatever which country, let us say the government of Germany, will be providing that money for the elections in the Germany. Okay, so just like that, the government of that particular country will be providing money to the elections. Okay, this is nothing but state funding. Okay, but in India, what we don't have state funding. Because of this, what happened? It is very like there is no transparency in the funding of the elections. Okay, so this is state funding. The correct answer would be option D, Germany and Austria. Okay, now what is state funding of elections? State funding of election is an election funding mechanism where the government gives the funds to the political party. Okay, whatever government is present in that particular country, that government directly funds this particular political party. Only those recognized political party, not all political party. Okay, this is called as state funding, or any candidates who are contesting in the elections. Okay, now the fund are typically allocated for campaign expenses. What are the expenditure? Tell me, what are the election expenditure? Election expenditure, we have campaign expenditure. They'll be doing campaigns, right? That expenditure. Then they have administrative cost. Then they have party activities, like whatever activities they'll be like putting some meeting, or those people who are involved in the working. Okay, we have to give money to those people, right? So there are different expenses which are, you know, happening during the election itself. Okay, before election obviously. So this is called as election expenses. Okay, and this election expenses is taken care by the political party itself. And where the money comes from? Money comes from different sources. Like some big businessman, he'll be giving some crores of money to this particular political party. Now what happens once this political party gets elected? Now this political party will be favoring this particular businessman, है ना? Because he gave funding during the elections. During the elections, the political party might not have proper funds. Now this corporate or the businessman who is helping the political party, after the political party comes to the power, he'll be misusing its power, right? He'll be taking care, or he'll be, you know, some sort of illegal activity which he has to, you know, get done. he'll be doing it through this political party which got elected. So to prevent this, there is no transparency here. To prevent this, one of a solution which is what do you say? People put forth is state funding. Like it is considered as one of a solution. Again, we don't know whether the state funding is a foolproof method. Okay, again we don't know, but it is considered as one of a you know method to mitigate this particular thing. Okay, now, and we should always remember what are the committees which are directly related to the the state funding. State funding is nothing but funding of elections by the government itself. State matlab government here. Okay, so there are many committees in India. Many committees, they talked about the state funding of elections, like why we should introduce the state funding in our elections. So what are the committees? One is Dinesh Goswami committee. You have to remember the names. Just try to remember the names. Maybe they'll be asking you by giving the name of the committees, and they'll be asking you which of these committees they are related to the state funding. Okay, which of the following committees have recommended state funding of election? Okay, so Dinesh Goswami committee 1990, then Indrajit Gupta committee 1998, then we have Law Commission report on 1999, and we have second arc, that is Administrative Reforms Commission 2008, and we have National Commission to review the working of the Constitution 2001. Okay, so these are some of the committees which have talked about or which recommended the state funding of the elections. Okay, so remember this these committees. See, next question. You have to answer this question right now. Okay, the Dinesh Goswami committee recommended option A, the constitution of a state level election commission. Option B, list system of election of Lok Sabha. Option C, government funding of parliamentary elections. Option D, a ban on candidature of independent candidates in the parliamentary election. Now tell me the answer. Just now we were discussing about this particular thing. They'll be giving some committees, okay, and they'll be asking about which of these following provisions are related to this particular committee. Just now we were talking about the Dinesh Goswami committee, and we directly saw that this is related to electoral reforms, and one such thing which it recommended was the government funding of elections. Okay, so option C is the correct answer. Now, which one of the following is correct in respect of the commencement of election process in India? Option A, the recommendation for election is made by the government and the notification for election is issued by the Election Commission. Option B, the recommendation of election is made by the Election Commission and the notification for election is issued by the Home Ministry at the center and home departments in the states. Option C, the recommendation for election is made by the Election Commission and notification for election is issued by the president or governor of that particular state, of that particular state's concerned. Option D, both the exercises of making a recommendation of election and that issuing of a notification in respect of it are done by the Election Commission. So here what they are asking, which of the following is correct regarding the commencement of an election process? How will an election process start, commence? So first what will happen is, first the recommendation will be issued by the government of India. Okay, the recommendation will be made by the government. Then what happened? Then the notification will be notified by the Election Commission. Okay, the notification will be notified by the election commission. So first what will happen? First the government will be making a recommendation, then the election commission will be issuing a notification. So option A is the correct answer. This is how a election process will commence. Okay. Now, which of the following political parties is or are national political parties? Option or statements: Muslim League, Revolutionary Socialist Party, All India Forward Bloc, Peasants and Workers Party of India. So in the last class also we were talking about the national parties and the state parties. Okay, what are national parties? Those parties which are recognized at the national level, and the state party at the state level. Obviously the recognized national parties. So here they are asking about which of these following are the recognized national parties. So technically this question was asked in 1995. So at that time also, or this time also, whatever it is, all these options, they are not a national party. So answer is option D, none of the above. Now in the last video I have asked you, tell me how many national parties are recognized in India currently, and also state parties. How many state parties are recognized in India currently? Tell me. The thing is, the national parties, 6 national parties are recognized in the current situation. Now you have to tell me what are these 6 national parties. You might ask me, are they going to ask which of the parties are national parties? See, we have an example. They have given some parties. They are asking which of these are the national parties. Okay, so it is only 6, right? Only 6 national parties we are having. So it's okay to, check what are these 6 parties. Now you have to tell me what are these 6 parties. If you don't know, go check and then tell me. Okay, what are these 6 parties currently? I'm asking currently, not the ones, during independence or in the previous times. I'm asking currently how many national parties are recognized. Obviously 6. Tell me what are the national parties are recognized. Okay. Now, so for that we should also understand what is the condition for declaring a party as a national party. Okay, we already saw 6 parties are recognized as national party. So what is the eligibility criteria? Like how a party, there are many n number of political party which are present in India. Huh? So how a political party is recognized as a national political party or a state political party? So what is the eligibility criteria? So this is a very factual, thing which you have to literally mug up. Okay, you have to remember. Okay, write it or do whatever method you want to follow, but you have to remember it. Okay, when a question comes from this thing, you should be able to answer it. So for recognition of any national political party, it should be recognized in 4 or more state. Actually, this particular statement was given in one of the previous questions in the previous video. Okay, when a political party is recognized in 4 or more states, then it is considered as a national party. This was that statement somewhere around, exactly, not precisely, but the statement was something about this. Okay, and we saw this in the previous video. So yes, for any political party to be announced as a national party, it should be recognized from 4 or more states. Remember the number, 4 or more states. And what are the other criteria? Or we have different criteria here. Okay, or there is another criteria. What is that? If its candidates have secured at least 6% of the total valid votes in at least 4 states. So in at least 4 states, okay, we can take any 4 state throughout the India. You can take any 4 states. In at least 4 states, he should have been, attained at least 6% of the total valid votes. Okay, only 6, at least 6% of the votes of any 4 states. That is one thing. Okay, it should be considered the latest Lok Sabha or the assembly elections. Okay, last election, previous election, either a Lok Sabha election or a state legislative assembly election. Okay, then, and the party at least has 4 MPs in the last Lok Sabha election. So the party should, let us say there is a political party, this political party should have at least 4 MPs, 4 members of parliament. Okay, so this is one condition. Let us say this is also not there, or see here they have given or 1, 2, then what is the third eligibility criteria? Third is if he has won at least 2% of the total seats of Lok Sabha from at least 3 states. So he should be, this particular party should be getting at least 2% of the total seats of the Lok Sabha. Now tell me how many seats are there in the Lok Sabha, total number of seats in Lok Sabha. Tell me also in Rajya Sabha. Tell me total number of seats in Lok Sabha and total number of seats in Rajya Sabha. Okay, let us see. Now coming back to this question. So at least 2% of the total number of seats in the Lok Sabha. Okay, and these 2% should also be coming from at least 3 different states. Okay, so this is one eligibility criteria, and these are the 3 eligibility criteria which we are having. Okay, you can see here, you have to literally mug it up, you have to remember the numbers. Okay, then at present how many parties we are having? 6 parties. 6 parties are recognized as a national party. Okay, so this is there. Now conditions for recognizing as a state party. Just like a national party, we have eligibility criteria for the state parties also. Obviously, there are n number of parties here in India. So we have certain conditions, certain criteria to be recognized as a state party. So what are these conditions? Let us see. Again, you have to mug up this also. At least 6% of a valid vote share in the last assembly election and have at least 2 MLAs, or have 6% of a valid vote in the last Lok Sabha election from the state, from that state, this is, you remember this, from that particular state, and at least 1 MP from that state. So what is this condition? At least 6% of valid vote they should get, that political party should get 6% of the valid vote in the assembly election. Okay, and it should at least have 2 MLAs. Apart from that, or else what it should have? It should have 6% of the valid vote in the Lok Sabha election, and it should be from the particular state. Let us say we are taking Tamil Nadu. So in that particular state, it should be getting 6% of the vote. Then at least 1 MP should be there from that particular state. Okay, so this is one condition. Or else what else we have? At least 3% of the total number of seats. Total number of seats, at least he should get 3% of the total number of seats, or 3 seats, whichever is, more, whichever is more. 3% of a total number of seats. Total number of which seats? Tell me, Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly? Here we are talking about the state legislative assembly. So the total number of state legislative assembly, in that they have to get at least 3% of the seats, or else they should at least get 3 seats, whichever is earlier, whichever is more. Okay, 3% of the seats is more. Let us say 3% of the seats is 4, and so that's why it will be considered. Okay, whichever is more. Let us say 3% of the seats is 2, then 3 will be considered. Okay, 3 seats will be considered in the last assembly election. Okay, other condition, next condition is at least 1 MP for every 25 members, or any fraction allotted to the state in Lok Sabha. That should be at least, out of 25 members, at least 1 should be a MP. Okay, this is also another fact. Then, or else have at least 8% of the total votes in the last assembly election or Lok Sabha election from that particular state. तो सिंपल यहाँ पे क्या what they are saying is at least 8% of the total vote from that particular assembly election or Lok Sabha election of that particular state. Okay. Then currently how much parties are recognized as a state party? 56. 56 parties are recognized as a state party currently. Okay. Now I won't ask you, tell me what are these 56 parties. No need to remember also. Then just tell me what are the national parties. How much? 6 national parties we saw, right? So what are these 6 national parties? Just tell me that. Okay. Now, so with that we have completed this particular topic. Okay. This topic is over, and we'll be continuing with the next topic tomorrow. We are left with, I think, 3-4 topics in the Indian polity. So soon we'll be completing the Indian polity also. Okay. So with that, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you, students.